Today, in the media conference with Lal Goel, which is brought to you by V4 News, Global TV, V4 Stream, Malnadu TV, News Gaon Se, Samvad Sarokar News, Organ Donation India Foundation and Gyan. Our endeavor is to enlighten you with the current topic. And today our topic is Amazing Assam. मेरा प्यारा असम चारों ओर है हरियाली छाई, जहां पहाड़ों से निर्झर बहता तरह तरह की जाति जनजाति, भिन्न भिन्न धर्म और संस्कृति, फिर भी अटूट एकता यहाँ की। धन्य हुआ यहाँ जन्म लेकर, गर्व होता असमिया कहकर, सच में प्यारा है मेरा प्रदेश, असम जो देता प्रेम संदेश। है भारत के पूर्वोत्तर में तिरंगे का लाड़ प्यार में, रोज पलता बढ़ता तिल तिल मेरा प्यारा असम प्रदेश, जैसे लगता छोटा सा एक भारत देश। This short poem is written by Mr. Vikas Barua. One more poem. असम ने देखा, असम ने पाया, बंगाल आया, गाल में दबाया। असम ने देखा, असम ने पाया, राजस्थान आया, जेबिस्थान बनाया। असम ने देखा, असम ने पाया, बिहार आया, विकार लाया। असम ने देखा, असम ने पाया, युवजन उठा, विकल्प आया। This is written by Mr. Ratnesh Kumar, and both the poems were sent to me by Mr. Paramatmanand Pandey Matwala, President Utho Jago Foundation. He is a journalist and a farmer. Thank you, Mr. Paramatmanand Pandey, for sending such a beautiful poems. Assam is situated amidst lush green valleys and majestic mountains. Assam is the land of breathtaking beauty and matchless grace. The sprawling tea gardens, exotic wildlife, verdant flora and fountain, swift and scenic flowing rivers, riverine island, the majestic Brahmaputra, the exotic Bihu dance, vibrant culture, rich tribal traditions, and generous people adds further charm to Assam's gorgeous natural landscape. If you are a nature lover or travel enthusiast, the delightful state of Assam is the place to be. Tourism of Assam is predominantly nature-based. From the famed Kaziranga to the obscure Manas, this tourist paradise allows you to get up close and personal with the wild. Mention Assam and how can the world-famous Indian one-horned rhinoceros not come to one's mind? One can spot these rare species roaming about fearlessly not only at Kaziranga National Park but also at Povitoro Wildlife Sanctuary. A treasure trove of stunning untouched natural beauty, Assam is one of the most vibrant and amazing states of the country. Assam is a state in northeastern India, situated south of the eastern Himalayas along the Brahmaputra and Barak river valleys. Assam covers an area of 78,438 square kilometers. The state is bordered by Bhutan and Arunachal Pradesh to the north, Nagaland and Manipur to the east, Meghalaya, Tripura, Mizoram and Bangladesh to the south, and West Bengal to the west via the Siliguri corridor, a 22 kilometers wide strip of land that connects the state to the rest of India. It is also one of the world's most populous subdivisions. Assamese is the official and most commonly spoken language of the state, followed by Bengali, which is official in Barak Valley, and Bodo, which is official in Bodoland territorial region. Assam is known for Assam tea and Assam silk. The state was the first site for oil drilling in Asia. Assam is home to the one-horned Indian rhinoceros along with the wild water buffalo, pygmy hog, tiger and various species of Asiatic birds, and provides one of the last wild habitats for the Asian elephants. The Assamese economy is aided by wildlife tourism to Kaziranga National Park and Manas National Park, which are World Heritage Sites. Dibru's Sikhova National Park is famed for its feral horses. Sal trees forests are found in the state, which as a result of abundant rainfall look green all year round. Assam receives more rainfall than most parts of India. This rain feeds the Brahmaputra River, whose tributaries and oxbow lakes provide the region with a hydrogeomorphic environment. Assam and adjoining regions have evidences of human settlement from the beginning of the Stone Age. The hills at the height of 1,500 to 2,000 feet were popularly habitats, probably due to the availability of exposed dolerite basalt useful for tool making. Ambari site in Guwahati has revealed Shunga Kushana era artifacts, including flight of stairs and a water tank, which may date from 1st century BC and may be 2,000 years old. Experts speculate that another significant find at Ambri is Roman era Roman roulette pottery from the 2nd century BCE. With the partition of India in 1947, Assam became a constituent state of India. The Sylhet district of Assam, excluding the Karimganj subdivision, was given up to East Pakistan, which later became Bangladesh. Assam, with its vast network of rivers, is prone to natural disasters like flood and erosion, which has a negative impact on overall development of the state. The Brahmaputra and Barak River, with more than 50 numbers of tributaries feeding them, causes the flood devastation in the monsoon period each year. The flood and erosion problem of Assam is singularly different from other states so far as extent and duration of flooding and magnitude of erosion is concerned, and is probably the most acute and unique in the country. The flood-prone area of the state, as assessed by the Rashtriya Baad Ayog (RBA), is 31.05 lakh hectares against the total area of state 78.523 lakhs hectares. That is about 39.58% of the total land area of Assam. This is about 9.40% of total flood-prone areas of the country. It signifies that the flood-prone area of Assam is 4 times the national mark of the flood-prone areas of the country. During post-independence period, Assam faced major floods in 1954, 62, 72, 1977, 84, 88, 98, 2002, 2004, and 2012. Almost every year, 3 to 4 waves of flood ravaged the flood-prone areas of Assam. Average annual loss due to flood in Assam is to the tune of rupees 200 crores, and particularly in 1998, the loss suffered was about rupees 500 crores, and during the year 2004, it was about rupees 771 crores. Rolling plains with greenery as far as the eye can see, varied wildlife, bountiful natural resources wherever you look, and cities and towns caught between the throes of modernization and tradition. Welcome to Assam, featuring 2 World Heritage Sites, diverse culture due to presence of many tribes and kingdoms throughout its long history. Assam has a lot to offer to the confluence of culture and tourism. Tourism in Assam is not as developed as compared to the rest of tourism hubs of the country, and perhaps this adds to the charm as it provides as raw and as authentic a gateway as possible. Did you know that the largest ruling dynasty in India comes from Assam? Few of the amazing facts of the Assam are: Bihu marks the season of change, and it is the state festival of Assam. Bihu is celebrated 3 times a year and has 3 different names, namely Bhogali Bihu or Magh Bihu in January, Bhohag Bihu or Rongali Bihu in April, and Konglai Bihu or Kati Bihu in December. A visit to Guwahati is incomplete without visiting the Kamakhya temple, one of the oldest among the 51 Shakti Peeths in the country, and a temple dedicated to goddess Kamakhya, another form of goddess Kali. Ambubachi Mela in June every year is one of the festivals here that attracts devotees from across the country. For the average Assamese, life is unimaginable without a piping hot cup of tea. A cup of tea is welcome anytime during the day. The tea gardens of Assam have been detailed and praised in countless books and movies. The only Malay river of India, the only male river of India, the Brahmaputra, originates in Tibet and enters India from Arunachal Pradesh before entering Assam. Assam is also famous for its varieties of indigenous silk known as iri and muga. The dresses woven out of these silks known as mekhela sador are part of the traditional attire of the state. So it's an amazing Assam. So to discuss today this very interesting topic, relevant topic, historical topic, amazing Assam, we have a very, very elite, experienced, knowledgeable panel with us. And I would like to invite my first guest, and he is Dr. Rajiv Anand. Dr. Rajiv Anand is the senior psychiatrist and marriage counselor. Dr. Rajiv Anand passed his MBBS in 1976 and did MD in psychiatry in 1980 from King's George Medical College, Lucknow. He opted to serve his country when it was very common to settle abroad for brighter future. He has been serving society with his base in Mumbai. He has clients all over India as well as in many other countries. He was honored with Lifetime Achievement Award by AMA. He has conducted more than 3,000 workshops for different groups and companies with audience size of 10 to 800. His television program on various channels have been widely appreciated for his forthright and practical approach. He is leading in the field of mental and emotional well-being for 40 years. He was president of IMA for 2 times. He was interviewed in several talk shows in domestic and internationally. Welcome, Dr. Rajiv Anand, on our show. Dr. Rajiv Anand, you are having lots of friends, associates, as well as your patients are from Assam. And you know, and you have traveled a lot, many times, which you told me, to Assam. Now, we would like to know your impression and your know-how about the amazing Assam. Dr. Rajiv Anand, please.
Thank you, Mr. Lal, and thank you for the kind introduction. Welcome to our senior colleague, Mr. Cha, and Dr. Vijay Chaudhary and Dr. Bhuyan. And welcome all the viewers from different states, Kerala and Karnataka and UP and Bihar, and through Global TV and through YouTube and through Facebook, all over wherever they are. First, I appreciate the efforts being made continuously over the last 1 year by Mr. Lal to create awareness. I'm using the word awareness. When we thought about Assam, what was the purpose of taking Assam? That millions of people in this country are unaware about Northeast, as if the Northeast is a different country. Northeast is far away. Northeast is comprising of people who are alien to us. And people all over the country in the mainstream, they have meet North Indians as if they are from different land, a different kind of complex. While my aim of talking about this amazing Assam is that traditionally, since ages, human behavior, which I and Dr. Vijay and Dr. Bhuyan represent, has to be looked into what would bring us happiness. We wanted to take a matter on the election for the Assam, but somehow we couldn't get the right people over here. But the scenario over here is Mera Bengal, Mera Bengal, Mera Maharashtra, Mera Maharashtra, Mera Bihar, और किसी का नहीं. तो बाकी हिंदुस्तानी किसको बोले मेरा हिंदुस्तान फिर हिंदुस्तान में बचा क्या है? सब लोग अपना अपना ले जाएंगे. So my perspective was this: the human behavior, if we feel concerned, many of three of us sitting over here, that is aimed at taking everybody together. जहाँ हमारी कल्चर कहती है वसुदेव कुटुंबकम, विश्व हमारी फैमिली है, पूरा ब्रह्म, पूरा विश्व की परिवार, वहाँ हम लोग हिंदुस्तानी लोग अपनी 30 स्टेट को साथ लेकर नहीं चल सकते, उनको साथ लेकर मिलकर नहीं रह सकते. हम कहते तुम वहां के हो, हम यहाँ के. ये बैकग्राउंड थी थोड़ी सी कि जब हम लोगों ने सोचा कि इस टॉपिक को लिया जाए, असम को लिया जाए, बंगाल को लिया जाए, बिहार को लिया जाए. तो असम में कुछ खासियत है और सभी स्टेट्स की, सभी राज्यों की कुछ यूनिकनेस है और असम की अपनी यूनिकनेस है. उस यूनिकनेस में ही, उस विविधता में ही कुछ अलग किस्म का आनंद है. Dr. Vijay and Dr. Bhaiya, are you comfortable with my Hindi also?
Absolutely, बिल्कुल.
Are you comfortable with my Hindi?
Yes, sir, definitely.
Absolutely,
Right.
yeah.
Okay. So उस विविधता में अपना एक आनंद है. I have a great fascination for the Northeast, and I was just hankering for years together till I got a chance a few years back. I went to the museum in Guwahati, a beautiful museum, something like Kalakin, something like different paintings and different kind of art, different kind of thing. And that museum opened my eyes how much ignorant, how much unaware we are about the Assamese culture. Of course, the popular things which we have heard about, the oil refinery begin over there, the silk, Assam silk, or we have heard about the Assam tea. Is that less that Assam provide tea to all over the country? Is that less Assam provide the best of silk to all over the country? Why we shouldn't feel indebted about it? Why I should think that I'm from Maharashtra, Jai Maharashtra? Nothing else. I would say Jai Assam. I would say Jai Bihar. I would say Jai Hindustan, Jai Bharat. But somehow this political parochialism or division or regionalism has killed the spirit of the India, has killed the spirit of a human being. At first I think I am different. I don't need anyone. I'm staying in Mara. I don't need to talk to Dr. Vijay or Dr. Bhayan. No, we all are Indian first. We all are human first. That's basic primary spirit of talking about Assam, or for the matter, any other state in the near future. Coming back to Assam, there's so much of beauty. Why can't we trust two ends? One end, God, the superpower. We have named the God. Let's scientifically say superpower, nature, universal intelligence, cosmic consciousness, whatever, has provided so much water to Assam, so much greenery to Assam, so much of different kind of lives, so much of fauna and what you call fauna and flora to Assam. Which other state can boast of 7 states enveloping it, 2 foreign nations enveloping it, 7 स्टेट चारों तरफ से और 2 फॉरेन कंट्री नेपाल और बांग्लादेश, ये सब असम को चारों तरफ से सपोर्ट कर रहे हैं. Which state can take a pride about it that we have so much of greenery and so much of animals? So one end, God has made Assam a unique state, which most Indians are unaware about it, and they should look into, and they should take interest into it, and they would forget their own misery. हमारे कंट्री में, हमारी स्टेट में, हमारे राज्य में ये प्रॉब्लम है, वो प्रॉब्लम है. हम दूसरों को देखें, कहाँ कुछ वीडियो आते हैं लोगों को एक शहर से दूसरे शहर जाने में 4-4 घंटे की ड्राइव करनी पड़ती है. असम में सुना है मैंने, जब हम भी गुवाहाटी से मेघालय गए थे, भले वो डिस्टेंस कम होता है लेकिन वो जैसे वहाँ की खूबसूरती के रूट्स होते हैं. तो असम की अपनी कुछ खासियतें रही हैं जो आम जनता तक नहीं पहुंची हैं. हमारी कोशिश ये है कि सब लोग अपने दुखों की दुनिया से निकलकर दूसरों की दुनिया को जानने की कोशिश करें कि क्या खास बात है वहां पर, लोग कैसे जीते हैं. आपने कभी असामीज को सिवाय वो ओकेजनल पॉलिटिकली इंस्पायर्ड मोटिवेशन, कभी पॉलिटिकली मोटिवेटेड जब कभी राइट्स होते हैं या मूवमेंट्स होते हैं या प्रोटेस्ट होते हैं, बोडोलैंड, ये वो सबको पता है कि ये पॉलिटिकली वो होती है. बहरहाल बाय एंड लार्ज Assamese people are very quiet people, calm people. I have had good number of clients from Assam. I have good number of friends sitting over here. Most of them, they're very calm, very composed, very grounded, very chilled out people. Isn't that a great quality? Isn't that something we have to emulate? Isn't that something they eat? I went to in Guwahati. I went to a place where I wanted to eat the food of Manipur, or for the matter, other food, Arunachal. Of course, once occasion I could have only one only, but I wanted to have what kind of food they have it, and I was impressed. A simple food, simply made across, reasonably delicious. Why we shouldn't? So my aim of and my appeal to Mr. Lal is to take up states like this where we can get speaker like who can highlight. I'm very eagerly looking forward to both my friends from Assam, Dr. Vijay and Dr. Bayer, and as well as senior IAS officer Mr. Jha, who have been visiting Assam very frequently, who has very good knowledge about Assam. So I shall stop talking about Assam over here, but I would look forward to, and my appeal to all millions of people who I'm told that 20-25 lakh people view this program. Good. Let them open their eyes. Let them serve about the Assam. Let them get an opportunity. And just to remind for those who are not aware about, nowadays there are direct flight to Guwahati from many parts of the country. I have directly flown to Guwahati in 2.5 hours, as much time 2 hours to Delhi and as much 2 hours to 15 minutes to Guwahati. And sitting over here in Bombay or any part of the country, we think that Assam में गुवाहाटी में कुछ नहीं होगा. अरे beautiful roads they are, beautiful airport it is, beautiful empty road, beautiful good hotels are there. we think that वो पहाड़ों का कोई छुपा हुआ छोटा सा शहर होगा. We go over there and we realize you have good hotels, you have good package, you have good restaurant, you have everything like normal anywhere else. But remaining in the mainland, people think on what they call mainland. I disagree. People living in the other part of the country, they think Assam या मेघालय या अरुणाचल वो सब पिछड़े कंट्री होंगे. हमारी सोच पिछली है, हमें उस सोच को बदलना है. So I'm really genuinely thankful to Mr. Lal for bringing this kind of topic so that हमारी सोच धीरे-धीरे बदले. वो भी हमारे भाई हैं, वो भी हमारे कंट्री के मैन हैं, वो भी हमारे हिंदुस्तानी हैं, वो भी हमारे भारतीय हैं. हमको उनको सिर्फ अपनाना ही नहीं है, हमें उन्हें अप्रिशिएट करना है. हमको उनके साथ जुड़कर चलना है. Assam has provided best of musicians, have provided best of filmmakers, have provided best of people who are in the IT or in the medical profession. Assam has provided many politicians. Needless for me to take name because these days it's possible whether Mr. Barua or whether Mr. Gogoi, and what Assam has provided best of judiciary people. It has provided the best of refining people. So there's a talent bank. So there is something in that land which provide best of brains. Mr. Jha is the right person to elaborate on that. So I would stop here, Mr. Lal. Over to you. Thank you for giving me this time.
Thank you very much, Dr. Rajiv Anand, for giving the details about the Assam. And as you have mentioned, the Assam it belongs to India. Assam is in India, and still the people feel that Assam is like some other country, or it's not that country, city, or the state to visit because it's having lots of problems. But we forget that Assamese are the one earlier from where we used to get the oil in the entire country. And Assamese tea, as Dr. Rajiv Anand has mentioned, is the most famous tea, not all over India, but all over the world. So thank you very much, Dr. Rajiv Anand, for setting up such a good agenda now for today's program. Very positive thing, which is required. And I must give thanks to Dr. Rajiv Anand also, that for last so many months, every Thursday, he is available, although he's such a busy doctor, but he's make a point to come on media conference with Lal Goel and with a different topics. And now his suggestion, which we are doing for last almost 4 or 5 weeks on different states. And that is giving a fair idea, not only to viewers, but I must confess, I am also learning lots of things. So thank you very much, Dr. Rajiv Anand, for that we are going ahead with such type of topics, which are really very enlightening for the viewers. Thank you very much. Now, I would like to invite my next panelist guest. He is Dr. Arvind Kumar Jha, IFS. Dr. Jha is the former PCCF and DG Social Forestry Government of Maharashtra. He is of Indian Forest Service 1980 batch, Maharashtra cadre. Dr. Jha did MSc Physics, MA Sociology, LLB and PhD in Social Science. Dr. Jha published 43 articles and 2 books. He received National E-Governance Award from Government of India for use of geoinformatics in implementation of Forest Rights Act in Maharashtra and Brandis Award for writing on forestry. Currently, Dr. Jha is a student of conservation and legal issues related to forestry, wildlife, biodiversity, and tribal development. He is also a member of Bar Council of Maharashtra and Goa. He was very closely associated with Kaziranga Sanctuary in Assam, and he worked quite closely and apart from his visits to Assam with these national parks. Welcome, Dr. Jha, on our show. Dr. Jha, you have heard what Dr. Rajiv Anand had spoken about the Assam. Now, we would like to know from you your views, because being a very, very senior officer and officer in the forest department, because Assam is known for the greenery, the forest, nature, and you are very much associated with Assam. You have worked there, you have gone there several times. Now, being non-Assami, what are your impression about the amazing Assam? Dr. Arvind Kumar Jha, IFS, please.
Thank you, sir. और सबको नमस्कार. Assam, that too amazing Assam. Amazing is a word which could be seen from various angles in respect of any particular state, any particular person, any particular entity. But as has been rightly pointed out just now, I'll try and see the natural aspects of Assam and also the people of Assam, how they are really amazing. You see, just to introduce, its earlier name was Assam, and it has a density of 400 persons per square kilometer. It has a literacy of 72%. And interestingly enough, it has two international borders, Bhutan and Bangladesh. And not many states would have this kind of, I can say, biodata, that it has 7 states which are sharing its border. So you can just imagine the kind of inflow and outflow of people, the cultural aspects, the aspects that influence people, economic and others. So this is a very unique kind of a situation that Assam is existing in. Right, I'll straight away come to the conservation areas. And Assam can really boast of one of the finest managed national parks in the country. One of the finest, especially because the Kaziranga, for example, it every year is hit by floods. But every year it comes back and it can show you the variety of biodiversity, the variety of flora and fauna that it has. And imagine the kind of dedication the people of that area have, the kind of commitment the forest officers and wildlife officers have there, who every year suffer through this kind of a natural disaster, but come back again to keep the national park in a condition that all of us can go and visit it and enjoy the unique one-horned rhinoceros. You see, Kaziranga National Park is in 2 districts, Golaghat and Nagaon, and it's a huge area. It is 858 square kilometers, notified in 1974, as early as 1974. Manas National Park, it is in Barpeta and Bongaigaon districts, and it has been notified in 1990. Again, a big area, 500 square kilometers. Nameri is another national park. Dibru Saikhowa National Park is the other one. And Rajiv Gandhi Orang National Park is the 5th one. So we have 5 national parks in this state. And you'll not be surprised if I can tell you that there are 17 wildlife sanctuaries apart from these national parks. And in total, the area is almost 5% of the geographical area of Assam, which is the target normally given to any state. And you can just understand from this very point the kind of mentality, the kind of feeling that people have towards nature and natural resources. Otherwise, there are states where people would be fighting that, no, we don't want a national park, we want development. But here, you see the kind of people you have in Assam. They are so close to nature and they have understood as to how nature sustains them and how they have to work to really sustain the nature, not just for Assam, but for each one of us, for you and me, for everyone. It has 4 tiger reserves in such a small state, 5 elephant reserves, and 2 World Heritage Sites. There is another interesting thing that you will find here is vulture conservation site. Most of us don't know that vultures have been the biggest helping sort of naturally existing I can say, if I can say, they are the scavengers of the nature, and they have been helping us in terms of our municipal corporation works. About 40 years back, when we used to go from, say, Nagpur to a place called Chandrapur, on way, if you find a dog which was killed by a vehicle, while returning in the evening, you wouldn't find it there because there were so many vultures, they would just clean it up. Today, India has a big problem of reduction of vulture population because of use of medicines, because of use of medicines for the animals. And those medicines have gone into the vulture's body. And they say that the eggs, when they lay the eggs, they just crack as soon as they touch the ground. Diclofenac, you must have all heard, is the real culprit. Now, these people, they have decided to have vulture conservation site where they have, you see, vulture restaurants. They would identify the animals which are not having diclofenac in their body, and they will go and keep it there so that the vultures become larger in number. These are the feelings that you can understand people have there. And another great example is a place called Majuli. Majuli is a biodiversity heritage site. And there is a beautiful background to it. In fact, biodiversity heritage sites are created under the Biodiversity Act. And it cannot be created unless the people support it. People have to come forward and request that, okay, sir, to the government, yes, this area we want as a biodiversity heritage site. And then only the papers move. So imagine the feelings of these people towards this very aspect of having a biodiversity heritage site, which is an island, perhaps the second biggest island, and that is in Brahmaputra. And that has been notified for improving lives of people through conservation. So their confidence on natural resources for providing their life support systems, including economic requirements, is the great amazing thing that you find in Assamese people and in Assam. Very few states would boast of this. Now, there are few very interesting and economically very important things that you find in Assam. Come to the floral part. There are 50 species of bamboo. And there are species of bamboo which can be pulped into bamboo wood, and you can also have doors made out of it. So the traditional thinking of bamboo is gone now. And this state has 50 species of bamboo. And out of which 90% bamboos are of very high value. It has 700 orchids, unique in the country. It has another very interesting item that's called agarwood, medicinal plants. And there is a person there, I can name him, he's Mr. Rahmat Ali. You know, he has 265 species of bamboo in his nursery. He has 1164 orchids in his nursery. This is the kind of amazing thing that we have in Assam, not everywhere in India. And coming to the aspect of business in terms of agarwood, you see, it's Mumbai business is 12 billions per year, and the agarwood oil comes from Assam. Agarwood is a tree, and it is infected through some fungus. It is also artificially infected, and then agarwood comes out, and from there comes the oil, and this oil is extremely expensive. The distillation is done, and most of the trade happens from Mumbai. Recently in Assam, the Honorable CM has inaugurated the first international trade center for agarwood products. So that's the kind of connect with nature, you know. Similarly, bamboo, I told you, they have 50 species. That is green gold. And it is being used. I'll name Tripura, for example. Tripura is much ahead of all other states in using the bamboo resources. Bamboo can be used not only as furniture material, not only as building material as we normally see it, but it also provides you energy. There are now processes through torrefaction, you can have green energy from bamboo. As regards orchids, this is the best place in India to go to see orchids. You can see the orchids nurseries, which are fantastic. It's an export item. Not very easy to grow, but it's wonderful. And in most of the marriages in Mumbai and big places, big people, you'll find orchids being used. Coming to the other aspect of natural resources that is being used in Assam is the artifacts or crafts. The Northeast Craft and Rural Development Organization is working there, and it is developing the terracotta and pottery industries in the Northeast India. That again has, you can see, the nature as the supplier of the raw material, and that is the soil, the earth. The annual turnover of the terracotta and pottery business is about 12 crores. Not many of us know this, but it is employing a large number of people, and the family incomes, they are from 1 to 2.5 lakhs a year just from terracotta and pottery crafts, which are unique. There is a village called Ashari Kandi, and Ashari is Ashadi actually, and Kandi means in Assamese shedding tears. So you can just imagine the name of the village has also been kept in a way, because during the Ashad there are rains, and during that time the potters cannot really make the pots or the handicraft articles or the craft articles, and therefore the name of the place is Ashari Kandi, and it has as a source of earth which is nearby, about 4 kilometers away, Hira Mati. So that Mati is Hira for them. It is on the banks of the river Gadadhar, which is the tributary of Brahmaputra. And all this was organized by these people traditionally in a way that they could use the Gadadhar river channel and even the road channel to market all this. And the most famous terracotta toy, which has been awarded also by President's Award in 1982, the award was given to one Mrs. Sarla Baladevi, and that is Hatima Putul. Putul is Gudiya, doll, and Hati is elephant, Ma is mother. So those putuls, those putuls have large ears like elephants. See, they connect with the nature. See, they connect with the wildlife. That they would say that their mother also has such large ears, and she hears everything that you say, and she'll love you. So, I mean, it's a unique, amazing, and perhaps beyond imagination. It's amazing place when you try to see the people and they connect with nature. It's wonderful. And obviously, I must say that you have to have the sensitivity of being able to understand all that aspects, because a lot of issues have come up politically from the point of view of religion, etc., which you have to, I feel, keep aside. And as was rightly pointed out in the introductory part of this session, you see, in 2019, there is an area in Golaghat which has been found to be having Kachari kingdom remains, which were existing around 7th century. A large range of iron tools, weapons, part of broken nails, etc. And all those things were found out through excavation. It has had a very unique kind of a history also. And since it has been prone to floods and even earthquakes, things must have been buried over time, And but it's unique. It's a unique place. It's a unique state. And the Archaeological Survey of India has also found Kasomari monoliths, which you must see if you go. They are fantastic monoliths, huge ones. And interestingly, even in 1924-25, rupees 300 was spent on this area for saving the monoliths from elephants. So that kind of a history it has. And to really conclude now, areas can be amazing, state can be amazing, natural resources can be amazing, but no state can be amazing unless the people are really amazing. You must have heard Bhupen Hazarika Saab, the amazing singer. But another amazing aspect of this place is that it has large number of languages and communities. If I can read it out, you'll be surprised. They have within that state Assamese, Bengali, Hindi, Urdu, Naga, Kuki, Ao, Garo, Dalung, Hazo, Chakma, Karbi, Dimasha, Mes, Kachari. Shall I read further? Bodu, Ahom, Sonwal, Gwalipada, Barpetia, Missing. These are some of the communities and languages or dialects that these people have. Imagine the state, the variety of the state, and imagine how they're living together. You just set aside some of the pressure, some of the interferences, some of the political things that come into play because of our bad sort of handling of issues. But imagine these people, so many communities, so many languages, staying together, working with nature. You see, even in the past, one of the guys there, he told me that the Mughals occupied the whole of the country, that they couldn't come to Assam. There was a person, the chief Senapati of that time, Lasid Bar Fukan, and Bag Hazarika. They built a wall in the whole night, near Brahmaputra so that these people could not come. And they stopped them. As regards their relation with ecology again, you see 90% of villages, if they want to build a house, they will first plant trees in that plot. And after 3 years or so, they will go and make the house. Sorry. So this is the kind of touch, connect they have. Bihu, for example, is for all regions and for all religions in that area. That's something very interesting, that they have continued with their culture. They have continued with their traditions. Religion is, yes, it's quite personal. And if I'm permitted, I can quote an incident of my own batchmate.
Dr. Jha, can we take it in the next round?
Yeah, just half a minute, please.
Okay.
This is the last.
Okay. Please go ahead.
So this man, when he was posted in Maharashtra, Kadar, and we have a tradition of having Ganpati Puja even in the offices. So in the office, the Ganpati Puja was being held. And normally the head of that office goes and does the puja. So he immediately offered this, yeah, I'll go and do puja of Ganpati ji. Everybody was surprised. I was also. And later on, he said, Arey yaar. We also are a part of all kinds of prayers in Assam. We don't distinguish between religions. It's a part of our culture also. So that kind of a understanding that these people have, and that makes them really amazing. They face floods every year. They face it, come up. That's the fighting spirit they have. So with this, I'll complete my submissions.
Okay.
It's a great state. It's really, really, really amazing. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Jha, for giving such a good description of the Assam and all the details whatsoever is required, which were not heard earlier. Many of these things which were not heard earlier were explained by you. It's really amazing. And what you have mentioned, one thing I would like just highlight that no state or no place can become amazing unless the people who are living there are amazing. Thank you very much, Dr. Jha. And I'm sure these compliments or these reality which you have explained will definitely enlighten our viewers who are across the world. They will come to know that SMEs are really amazing people. Thank you very much. Now, I would like to invite my next guest, and he is Professor Dr. Dhruv Jyoti Bhiyan. Professor Bhiyan is the Associate Professor in Department of Psychiatry, Assam Medical College, Dibrugarh. He is the co-chair postgraduate training updation specialties section of Indian Psychiatry Society 2021-2022. He is the chairperson scientific committee of Indian Psychiatry Society East Zone 2020-2021 and 2021-2022. He was the convener scientific committee of Indian Psychiatry Society Assam State Branch 2019-2020. He was the editor of Indian Psychiatry Society Assam State Branch 2008 to 2010. He received many awards, including Dr. R.B. Davis Memorial Oration Award 2020, Baba Saheb Dr. Ambedkar National Fellowship Award 2019, Certificate of Excellence in Young Faculty categories in Top 25 List Awards 2018 by EET-CRS Research Wing for Excellence in Professional Education and Industry, Bharat Vikas Award 2017 for outstanding contribution to the field of common mental health. He featured as an expert in a documentary on social mobilization against substance abuses prepared by UNICEF. He published 30 research papers in scientific journals, 11 book chapters, edited 3 books. His research projects as principal investigators, 2 ongoing and 4 completed. Welcome, Professor Dr. Bhiyan on our show. Professor Dr. Bhiyan, you have heard what Dr. Rajiv Anand as well as Dr. Arvind Kumar Jha had spoken about the amazing Assam. Now, you being a SME yourself, you are there only. So we would like to know the from the horse's mouth. The word is bad, but I have to use the phrase. The amazing Assam. Professor Dr. Dhruv Jyoti Bhiyan, please.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Assam, actually, the name itself, the name signifies the uniqueness, actually. The meaning of Assam is something which is unique. We call it in Assam or Ahom, means home, means either equal or something like that. The word has derived, the word has got different meanings. The first thing is that many people call it that this word has come from the tribe or the dynasty which has ruled Assam for more than 500 years. It was the Ahom dynasty. But there are different schools of thought. Many people call it that no, it is surrounded by hills as well as plains, so it cannot be equal. The land is not equal. Somewhere it is plains as well as hills. That's why it is unique. Many people call it that it is a mini India, because in India we always call about unity in diversity. Assam is the perfect example of that, because we have got people with many languages, many religion, many castes, many creed, many dialects, but still we are united by a trade, and that trade is called the trade of being Assamese. So that's why we call that it is unique. Assam has got a unique tradition, or rather the most richest tradition, because the culturally, or if you look into the spiritual dimensions also, then we'll have to name our great multi-talented Vaishnavite Pandit Srimanta Sankardeva. People are talking about all kinds of drama and cinematography, but it was started long back by great Srimanta Sankardeva. And the Satriya Nitra, that you people have called it one of the classical dance that has originated from this great Pandit. First Assamese movie, Jaimati, was by Jyoti Prasad Agarwala, the first filmmaker of Assam. He made this film in 1936. At that time, he actually went to Europe for training, and he said, whatever I have learned there, that was already there in Assam since long back, because it was Srimanta Sankardeva. In Assam, actually, there is no language, no religion. We call someone is Hindu, someone is Muslim, someone is Christian, someone is Sikh, but in Assam, everyone is Assamese. Sir was talking about Bagh Hazarika and Lasit Borphukan. That is during the time of Mughal invasion, because Assam was never conquered by the Mughals, and it was the utter brilliance or the bravery of the people of Assam. You will be astonished to know the original name of Bagh Hazarika is Ismail Siddiqui. Means there is nothing about religion. It was wholehearted Assamese or Assamese-ness that has ruled that time. It was first king, Sargadev Sukafa, who has actually founded what we call it as Assam, because there were so many tribes and he has united it. Another uniqueness or unity in diversity was the Srimanta Sankardev, because here we mostly follow the Hindu religion, and he was one of the propounder of that. And in Majuli, you will see so many satras and namghars. Actually, satra is for all those cultural activities as well as religious activities. And namghar, the first, what you call is that pillar. There is a very good history, actually. The first pillar, we always call it as the Lai Khuta, that is the Lai. And it was Sankardev who has given the concept of Namghar, and he has got many disciples from various religions and various tribes. And one of the such person was Sankha. He was a Muslim person at that time. Then when Namghar was established, and someone has said that who will first lay the foundation, then he has asked Sankha. And Sankha has said that, sir, I don't know anything about your culture, your religion. Then he said, whatever you know, you simply follow that. Then what he has uttered is La ilaha illallahu. And from that La ilaha, the word lie has come. So that was the uniqueness. Actually, it has been the tradition of Assam. And there are so many instances you will hear, but in Assam, hardly you will have any news on this religious conflict, because one dimension, this foundation was laid down by Srimanta Sankardev. Then there was another person called Ajahn Fakir, who has come from the Arabic areas, and he was actually propagating the Islam, but he has incorporated indigenous tunes, and he has made up what is known as zikir and jari, and these are very beautiful religious songs, and these are usually rendered by both Hindu and Muslims, and there is uniqueness in that. And Bihu festival that we people are talking about, that is not only festival, that is actually festival of unity, because it is followed or it is practiced by all the people of Assam. Mighty Brahmaputra has given the strength for the Assamese people. There are two big rivers in Assam. One is Brahmaputra and other is Barak. And Brahmaputra is, as rightly pointed out, that this is the only male river in India, or rather in the world. So, in the banks of river Brahmaputra, this is the most fertile zone, and people mostly speak Assamese, and those who are living in the banks of Barak, their official language is Bengali. Again, you can find some amount of harmony in between different cultures, different languages. And that's why I always say that Assam is unique. Assam is unique. Monuments, the people are talking about all kinds of monuments and all those, but you will be astonished to find that the first pavilion of India was in Assam. It was Ronghar, that was founded by the Ahom kings, and all those big monuments.
I think
yeah, there was a problem with my network.
Yes, network is weak. Either you are using some other device on the same network. If yes, then please disconnect other devices. Only this device should be there because net is weak. Okay, so Professor Vian, I will be back to you again once your net is okay. So thank you very much, Professor Bayan, for giving such a good description about Assam. And only one thing which I would like to highlight what Professor Bayan has said is that there is no difference between any religion in Assam. Assam is unique, and that's why they celebrate every occasion together. They have nothing like that, whether somebody is Hindu, Muslim, Christian, or Sikh. They all are Assamese first. Now, this type of spirit in one state, really it makes a state amazing. In India, if we will have this spirit that we call us Hindu, Muslim, Sikh or Isai, if we will say no, we are Indians first, then any our religion, then India can also become unique. Thank you very much, Professor Bayan. Because of your net, I will be coming back to you in the next round, definitely, where we can listen to you more about the amazing Assam. Thank you very much. Now, I would like to invite my next guest, and he is Dr. Bijoy Pratim Chaudhary. Dr. Chaudhary is the Senior Consultant Psychiatrist, Mind Care, Maligaon, Guwahati. Born and brought up in the state of Assam, he spent his childhood in the beautiful township of Duliajan in Upper Assam, a theatre, and he has performed in several plays all over Assam and major metros of the country with his group stage fusion. He loves to travel and has visited many places in amazing Assam, in India and all over the world, experiencing different cuisine and culture. Giving his services as a psychiatrist to the people of his home state and across the country keeps him going. Welcome, Dr. Chaudhary, on our show. Dr. Chaudhary, please unmute yourself. Please unmute. Dr. Chaudhary, you have heard what Dr. Rajiv Anand, Dr. Arvind Kumar Jha, as well as Professor Bayan has explained about the amazing Assam. Everyone has taken different angles, but ultimately it was for the Assam that is amazing Assam. You are also an Assami. You are also staying in Assam. Definitely, again, I will not use the same phrase, but I will say definitely we would like to know from you the amazing Assam. Dr. Bijoy Pratim Chaudhary, please.
Namaskar and good morning to everyone. I especially thank the organizers and you, Mr. Goel, of giving such amazing introduction about amazing Assam. And I also thank my other panelists who have given such wonderful and in-depth inputs regarding Assam. So for me, as the last panelist, it becomes a little difficult to add more to it. But what I would try to attempt during this next few minutes is about, go a little deeper into certain aspects of amazing Assam that has already been mentioned by our esteemed panelists earlier on. At the beginning, let me say that, although as one of our panelists had pointed out, a lot of people in so-called mainland India think Assam is a very faraway place, or a Northeast is a very faraway place, difficult to access or visit, or maybe inhospitable or a hostile environment. Perhaps to some extent, some views may be held which, due to certain socio-political reasons in the past, in many past decades, those viewpoints might have come. But let me assure you, as of today, Assam, I think, is one of the most peaceful states in our country. Number one. And I'm telling you that Assam has always been associated with the Indian civilization. Mention of Assam goes back to the tantric culture, which is practiced in the great temple of Ma Kamakya. It has been mentioned in the Puranas. It's been mentioned in different Assamese folklores, or also the great epics such as Mahabharata, where, we have heard the stories of Arjun coming to Assam and going off to Manipur, marrying a local princess there, staying there for some time and coming back. So, Assam has always been, the culture has always been associated more towards the main stream of Indian civilization rather than towards the east. When you look towards east, the Burmese or even the Chinese, we have influences of them also. But I'm happy to say that Assam was always, in centuries before, a melting pot of different cultures, different religions, and even today also the same situation exists. As we know that previously, people from Burma used to come, or people from China, the Ahom kingdoms, where they originated from. They originated from the Yuan province of China and came through Burma, came to Assam, and established the kingdom here, assimilating all the other.
Yes, please unmute. Please unmute. Yeah. Yes. Go ahead. Now you are unmuted. Yes.
Yeah. The Boros, the Kacharis were the oldest inhabitants of the plains of Assam. So therefore, Assam over the centuries and even today is a melting point. Today, we've got the people from different parts of the country who are staying here with us amicably and have formed the Assamese, or what we call now the Greater Assamese Society, where we have people from Rajasthan, who we generally call Marwaris, but we should call them Rajasthanis. And we've got people from Bihar, we've got people from Bengal, we've got people from erstwhile East Pakistan who had migrated to Assam, the Bangladeshi Muslims who have come and settled, and also have tried eventually over the years to become the greater part of the Assamese society. And they have been accepted, over the last few decades. So we are living, and there are people of different tribes, as one eminent panelist had said, of different, like we've got Missings, we've got Boros, we've got Karbis, we've got different languages spoken. Along with these different languages, there are also different kind of cuisines. There are different kind of local alcoholic brews. I think there are more than about 150 alcoholic brews existing in Assam. And every tribe and everyone has their own liking. And so, different kind of food also. The different lovely vegetarian dishes, lovely non-vegetarian dishes. And so I would see people who haven't come to Assam try out our cuisine, try out our different alcoholic beverages. I'm telling you, it's mind-blowing. I myself am a foodie, and I love different cultures. And when I go out, I try the local food, the local sites, so that I can get a feel of the place. I would highly recommend the local cuisine of Assam. At the same time, the welcome that we give to our, the visitors who come here I think it is amazing because I've been to other places and I know that our Assamese are actually very simple-minded people. Usually they are very honest. I said mostly very honest people, simple, and very peace-loving people. They don't want to get into controversies or anything. And they would welcome you. Our traditional welcome is with a japi. It's a kind of a hat made of cane and well decorated. Which is kind of, when we make a person wear a japi, is like we honoring that person. He's like a king who's coming to your abode. And we give something called a piece of cloth, a towel rather, made of cotton, which is what you call gamocha, which is got beautifully sides of that towel, and which we put around the neck and show a little bit of respect, a lot of respect with making them wear the gamocha. And we welcome them with what we call the traditional betel nut. We got a lot of betel nut trees all over. When you come by air and land to Guwahati, you will see a lot of betel nut groves, as you approach the airport runway. And Assam is full, the villages, even the towns are full of these betel nut trees, and which adds to the greenery of our beautiful, amazing Assam. So you will find a bit of pan given in a traditional horai, what we call, a kind of a brass made, how to say, a utensil, which we call horai, and is given to you. And you take a betel nut, which is, sometimes I warn you, could be very, very headstrong, could make you, make you feel a trip, or make you, feel a little high. Be careful with that. Apart from that, you see, the Assamese people traditional dresses are somewhat, very, very akin to what generally in India, what you see. We like our dhotis, we like our kurtas. So the men usually wear that, and the women wear their mekhala sadars. And now you get beautiful, beautiful mekhala sadars of the 3 different kind of silk that we produce, which is world famous. One is the muga, or the golden colored. One is the part, or the whitish color, and one is the airy silk, which is supposed to be very warm, and which men and women wear as shawls. Okay, so these are some things that you can buy when a tourist comes here. You can buy and take it back. And let me tell you, beautiful silk saris are available. Usually, what traditionally, mekhala is 2 pieces of garment that a woman wears, the petticoat kind of thing, and one on the top. But now they're making saris also. So the women folk of Ghetto India, they wear saris. They can find beautiful Assamese design silk saris to take back home. Apart from that, let me tell you, as someone mentioned, we have got a high literacy rate, about 70%. And, there are serious efforts by various governments in the present or in the past also to increase the literacy rates. A lot of Assamese youths, young people of Assam, are going out to other states and providing and getting jobs there and working there and providing to the success in the economy of other states. A lot of people are in Bangalore, in Bombay, Goa, in Delhi, and they've been so easily assimilated with the other people there. Not to mention, everyone has mentioned about the great Kamakya temple, the lovely tea garden. See, I grew up in the oil township of Duliajan, where first oil was struck in Asia. My dad was working since it was, how they put the pipeline from here to Barauni, to pump oil out. I've grown up in the oil township of Duliajan, where during the 80s, when the Assam agitation was taking place, and I have seen it all, how Assamese society sometimes, due to various political reasons or socio-political reasons, used to come apart. But I have seen again the strength of the Assamese society coming back together and working towards the peace and progress of not only Assam, but of our entire country. And with this few things, I would like to conclude my
Thank you very much, Dr. Chaudhary, for giving so much a different angle of Assam, and especially about the food and the drinks. And I'm also a very foodie person, and you have mentioned about the 150 types of alcoholic drinks. I am seriously thinking, but because of the COVID, it's not possible for me to come. But definitely, whenever the COVID will not be there, I would like to come and taste the local brewed alcohol as well as the vegetarian cuisine, as you have mentioned. Thank you very much. I'm sure today's program, which we are is progressing, is giving a very, very positive side of Assam. Thank you very much, Dr. Chaudhary, for giving this side of Assam also. So now I would like to ask, rather I will mention something to Dr. Rajiv Anand. Dr. Rajiv Anand, are you there? Yes, Dr.
Yes, sir, very much here.
Dr. Rajiv Anand, we all are talking about very, very positive side. And this is a very good thing that we are talking, we have to talk. One more positive side I would like to mention about the COVID management. The COVID percentage in Assam is far less. Means the positivity rate of COVID is only 0.26% in Assam. And that is a very positive aspect if you see. The impact of the COVID-19 was not that severe in Assam. Do you think it is because of the greenery, because of the not that type of commercial setups or the multi-story buildings, or due to the good habits, like one of the panelists, doctor, mentioned about that they are giving the angocha type of thing, or that cotton made, are they using as a mask or something like that? Why the Assam is not having that much COVID? Can you just say about that?
Yes, sir. I mean, it's a very interesting observation you made out. And before I give just a brief comment about it, I'm indeed thankful to all the three speakers, and specifically to Mr. Jha, who enlightened so many unknown or less known aspects of Assam's culture, or Assam's assets, or Assam's unique points. Something really wonderful. I mean, much beyond what we were anticipating. Now, having said so, coming back to we consider by our limited knowledge God into the form of the statue on the campus, or the mosque, on the gurdwara, or church. But the God is there in nature. All of us do know this clearly by now. All those who have a scientific bent of mind, all four of us sitting over here beside me, we know scientifically that nature in abundance is the best God right before us, right within us, right around us. And we all know that who can be the best healer? The nature. We go and pray to Babas, we go and pray to various places for asking for the help, asking for the recovery. Assam is most endowed, most gifted with so much abundance of nature. And that's precisely the reason why the COVID cases are the minimum. I'm sure Dr. Vijay and Dr. Bulia would agree with me that people in general have you heard of any major hospital in Assam? Not that they don't need it, but in general, they have a far better health status than the other part of the country. Other part of the country is mad about earning money and making big flats, but look at the cost of the precious health or the precious happiness. Assamese are living life with nature, with animals, with rivers, with so many other things. That's up to you, all those who are living in Assam. At times you may wonder that we are lucky as still living in big city with big building, but we envy you, sir. If and when you want, we can barter for a year. Wait for a year. You come to Bombay and I come to Guwahati. Over to you.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Rajiv Anand. Now I ask Dr. Jha. Now I have to act as a devil's advocate. So please excuse me. We are talking about amazing Assam. Everyone has spoken very nicely. If it is so, why so much crime against women in Assam? If you want, I can give the figures. The figure says that Assam, among the states, Delhi has the highest crime rate against women, 160.4 crimes against a population of 1 lakh, with Assam a close second, 131.3 crimes, and Odisha 84.5 coming third. Now, when you all are talking so high, Dr. Jha, can you just tell me, I will come to Dr. Chaudhary also about this question. Don't worry, I have many questions. So, but Dr. Jha, can you just tell us, because you have seen from outside and you are being an observer, you have worked there also. So is there any particular reason you have observed? Dr. Jha, please unmute yourself. Please unmute, Dr. Jha. Yes.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's a quite a, I must say, amazing question from a person who was talking about nature and people's connect, But uh, if I can really hazard a guess and look into the social parameters also, you see, basically what happens is that the crimes happen. Now, where from you take this data? You take this data from records, and the records are by the police station.
This is the National Crime Record Bureau.
Yeah, that's right. So it compiles all the data from all the places,
Yes, please.
and that is the job of the police. You go in Pune, ask the police to lodge a complaint. They will ask you to come 3-4 times, and then even then they will say no, we'll try to solve it. Come on, let you go and settle amongst yourselves. You see the cases in UP, you see the cases.
Oh, okay. We got your.
Fundamentally, there are two aspects. One is the sensitivity of people towards such crimes. This is one. So, if they are sensitive, they will definitely go and lodge a complaint. And also the sensitivity of the police station or the government towards these crimes, that yes, it must be recorded. You see, in forest also, there were forest guards who never used to record the offenses because they thought that this will be considered as number of crimes under my during my tenure. But that ultimately made forest to lose a lot of area, lot of forest, lot of trees.
Okay.
Here the issue is of sensitivity. Here the issue is of openness. Here the issue is of governance, which is much better.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Jha.
I salute the Assamese people for this, for being so sensitive.
Okay,
yes.
Thank you very much for your very truthfulness. Although you being the officer posted in our government of Maharashtra, nowadays Maharashtra police in limelight, so no comments right now. But what you have mentioned, according to you, it is because the SMEs are very sensitive and they are registering all the reports against even the crime against the women, and that is one of the reason, and others are not. But I will go to Dr. Chaudhary afterwards. But thank you very much, Dr. Jha. Now my question is to Dr. Bian. Dr. Bian, everyone is talking amazing. Then why so much unemployment? According to CMIE's latest data, unemployment rate hit 6.9% in Assam, where India's unemployment at the same time is recorded as 6.8%. Do you agree with these data, or according as Dr. Jha, it's also because people are not recording here? Please unmute yourself, Professor Bian. Please unmute.
Okay, sir. This is a very tricky situation, because why I call it as a tricky, because by unemployment, we have got a very conventional kind of thinking that I have to be working in the government setup, something like that. Why so much of unemployment? This dates back to a very prehistoric era, because Assam is very rich in all the natural resources, and people usually whatever they want at their hand. This was one of the main reasons why most of the time we Assamese tend to become lazy, because we used to get things quite easily, because Assam is full of resources. Second thing is that because of various reasons, so many industries have not been grown up, and people are now, because of various other reasons, and people have started talking about look east policy. But if we look into, if working in some company or in some government setup is the employment, then really Assam has got the problem of unemployment. But if you look into the people who are earning their livelihood through various other ways like cultivation or some other businesses, then probably the answer is no.
Okay.
And nowadays we are thinking on what is our conventional thinking, and people are talking about entrepreneurship and all those things. So it is not that the people of Assam are not working.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much, Professor Bayan, for giving such good thing, because people are going like Dr. Jha has mentioned, we have to just see the data available on the Google and we can only quote it, but the reality is different, as Dr. Jha has explained and as you have explained. Thank you very much. Now my question to Mr. Dr. Chaudhary, before you can answer what I have asked about the crime of the Citizenship Amendment Bill 2016. See, this bill was passed by the Lok Sabha. It was stopped because lots of agitation in Assam. And the agitation is because Assamese doesn't want that any type of, any community should not come to Assam now, so that their all resources will be tightened. Now, what you say about this? Do you think Assam is ready for CA? Because now elections are on in 5 states, and all other states, the government is insisting, the central government is insisting, and rather I will term BJP says that it is on our agenda. But Assam, now, what you say about this?
Well, I'm very clear about this issue. I'm very clear because a person who has got an in-depth knowledge about the history of Assam a few decades prior to independence and post-independence. See, Assam has always seen migration happening because our borders been well connected, between, say, Bangladesh, India, even Burma through Manipur and all that. So we've had, during the British rule, we've had people migrating even before independence. Okay, and there were this the Indian Muslim League as a political party were encouraging certain, because see, as you said, Dr. Bhuya said, people in Assam is a land of lahalai. We are so rich in our resources, we wouldn't want to move from our houses. Now we have our own paddy fields, we have our own chicken farm, we've got your own cows, we've got a small pond where we get your fish. So we are self-sufficient. Like the Gandhiji used to say, every village unit used to be self-sufficient, But actually, as gradually as people, a lot of migration happened, and land used to be occupied. The language was different, the culture was different. The Assamese identity was being felt threatened generally by the local ethnic who were staying there for hundreds of years, and they felt threatened. So there were agitations. CA is one of the latest agitation against CA, and these agitations have been mostly led by ethnic people who have been, traditionally living there for hundreds of years. I will not say that I am an ethnic Assam because I came only 400-500 years back to Assam. Originally I belong to Kannauj in UP. And it's the Ahom kingdom who brought us to help them administer this state of Assam. Okay. But I say I am also an Assamese because I'm here for 400-500 years. Now these Bengali people, migrants who have come and settled here for 60, 70, 80 years, who have become members of parliament, or 80 years, they say also we are also Assamese, but they have a specific language. Now with the Citizen Amendment Bill,
please be brief. Please be brief.
Before that, we had 1985, we had the Assam Accord signed. Yes. In the Assam Accord, it was said under clause 6 that the language, the identity, the culture of the Assamese would be protected by the Constitution of India. And that clause 6 has not yet been implemented. There was an expert committee formed about a year and a half back. That committee report has been passed more than a year, but that report has not been yet tabled in the parliament. But yet they want to go forward with the CAA. So the agitation now is that without clause 6, no CAA. Okay. But we in Assam, we welcome everyone. Come and let the country prosper, let the state prosper. Huh?
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Chaudhary. Now, my question to you, last question, 5 seconds answer. NDA, UPA?
Tough time, difficult to say. I'm not a political analyst.
Okay, tough. Professor Bayan, please unmute yourself. Professor Bayan, please unmute yourself. Unmute. NDA, UPA?
Yes. Again, I will echo what Dr. Vijay Chaudhary has said.
Okay, thank you. I got your point. Dr. Jha, as an observer from outside, NDA, UPA?
The public of Assam.
Okay. And Dr. Rajiv Anand? Dr. Rajiv Anand, are you there? No. You also want to skip this question. Okay, no problem. No, you are there. Please unmute. NDA, UPA.
UPA, sorry, NDA. What
Okay.
the current central government?
That is NDA. Na?
Right
BJP
wing,
is
right wing.
NDA and UPA. So you are, but okay, thank you very much. So today you have seen the
More than that,
state really.
more than that, Mr. Lal, nationalist party,
Okay.
nationalist sentiment.
Okay.
All of us together.
Thank you very much. So today you have seen that a state, such an amazing state with all qualities, because the people are good. The God has given so much abundance of greenery there, so much water is there, everything is there, food, cuisine, whatnot, and still the as Dr. Rajivan mentioned about the mainland, or I will say the rest of India feels that Assam is very far, not only physically, distance-wise, but mentally, psychologically. It is not like that. And the facts which have been highlighted today by all our guest panelists are so, I must say, the eye-opener, that the things which they have explained, I am sure this one program is far less. If I would have done series of programs on the Assam, we will explore very new. And one moment, please. I have to mute Dr. Yes. We can very well, if we will do this series, we will explore many more aspects, the amazing facts of Assam. And I'm sure all our viewers who have viewed today, they are enriched, enlightened with such type of new, and I will not say new, the traditional, the old culture of Assam, which, to be very frank, honestly, I was also not aware that much, which I have been enlightened today. Thank you very much. Thank you all. And today's program, which has been live telecasted by V4 News, Global TV, V4 Stream, Malnadu TV, News Gaon se Samvad Sarokar News, as well as it was shown live on Facebook and YouTube. And our endeavor is to bring to you everyday new topic. And tomorrow, our topic is role of youth in pandemic management. Yes, you all know that the COVID is returning back. So now we are starting. 1 year back, when I started my program, it was dedicated to COVID-19 only. But now the COVID-19 is not there, because now so mutant has come. So now that series we have started basically for COVID returns. We have already done one program yesterday. Now we are doing, so now tomorrow's is role of youth in pandemic management, and our chief guest is Dr. Rukhsana Hassan. She is a renowned psychologist, trainer, coach, motivational speaker, special educator for early childhood education and development, Mangalore, along with 7 youth guests. Those will be discussing and mentioning about the role of youth in pandemic management. Thank you very much, Dr. Rajiv Anand. Thank you very much, Dr. Arvind Kumar Jha. Thank you very much, Professor Dr. Bian. And thank you very much, Dr. Chaudhary, for joining us. And thank you all the viewers. And I'm sure today's program is a very amazing program.